Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 9, entitled Prahlad Pacifies the Lord with Prayers. Today's text number 20. Yasmin yato yarhi yena cha yasya yasmad yasmai yata yad uta yas tvapara parova bhava karoti vikaroti pritak svabhava sanchoditas tad akilam bhavata swarupam yasmin yato yarhi yenacha yasya yasmad yasmai yatayad utayastvapara parova bhava karoti vikaroti pritak svabhava sanchotidastad akilam bhavata swarupam. Word for word. Yasmin. In any condition of life. Yata. Because of anything. Yarhi. At any time. Past, present or future. Yena. By something. Cha. Also. Yasya. In relationship with anyone. Yasmad. From any causal representative. Yasmai. Onto anyone. Without discrimination. In regard to place, person, or time. Yata. In any manner. Yat. Whatever it may be. Uta. Certainly. Ya. Anyone who. To. But. Apara. The other. Para. The supreme. Va. O. Bhava. Being. Karoti. Does. Vikaroti. Changes. Pritak. Separate. Svabhava. Nature. Under the influence of. different modes of material nature. Sanchodita, being influenced. Tad, that. Akilam, all. Bhavata, of your Lordship. Svarupam, emanated from your different energies. So Prahlad Maharaj is continuing to offer praise to Lord Nishingadev, and this is what Prahlad Maharaj says in this translation. My dear Lord, everyone in this material world is under the modes of material nature, being influenced by goodness, passion, and ignorance. Everyone, from the greatest personality, Lord Brahma, down to the small ant, works under the influence of these modes. Therefore, everyone in this material world is influenced by your energy. The cause for which they work, the place where they work, the time when they work, the matter due to which they work, the goal of life they have considered final, and the process for obtaining this goal are all are nothing but manifestation of your energy. Indeed, since the energy and energetic are identical, all of them are but manifestations of you. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Whether one thinks himself protected by his parents, by the government, by some place, or by some other cause, everything is due to the various potencies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Everything that is done, whether in the higher, middle, or lower planetary systems, is due to the supervision or control of the Supreme Lord. It is therefore said, Karmana Devi Netrena Jantur Deho Papatyaye. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supersoul within the core of everyone's heart, gives inspiration for action according to one's mentality. All of these mentalities are merely facilities given by Krishna to the person acting. Bhagavad-Gita therefore says, Matta smiti jnanam apohonam cha. Everyone works according to the inspiration given by the Supersoul, because everyone has a different goal of life. Everyone acts differently as guided by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The words Yasmin yato yarhi yanacha yasya yasmat indicate that all activities, whatever they may be, are but different features of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All of them are created by the living entity and fulfilled by the mercy of the Lord. Although all such activities are non-different from the Lord nonetheless directs Sarvadaman Parityagya Mamekam Saranam Vraja. Quote, give up all other duties and surrender unto me. Unquote. When we accept this direction from the Lord, we can actually become happy. As long as we work according to our material senses, we are in material life. But as soon as we act according to the real transcendental direction of the Lord, our position is spiritual. The activities of bhakti, a devotional service, are directly under the control of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Narada Pancharatra states, Sarvapadi vinirmuktam tatparat vena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhaktir uchyate. When one gives up materially designated positions and works directly under the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one's spiritual life is revived. This is described as Swarupena Avastiti, being situated in one's original constitutional position. This is the real description of mukti, or liberation from material bondage. Om Jnana Timirandasya Ajnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. One disciple, in a feeling of humility, approached Srila Prabhupada and said that sometimes I'm in Maya. Srila Prabhupada said, and retorted back, he said, don't talk nonsense, you're always in Maya. So how to decode this very, you could say in one sense, deep exchange between a disciple and Srila Prabhupada. Yeah. The non-devotees, of course we know they are potential devotees due to being preachers, yeah. But the non-devotees, they do not know that they are in Maya. Right? So when one becomes a practicing devotee, then one realizes that one is always in Maya. And that is Krishna consciousness. That is making advancement in Krishna consciousness. So in October of 1975, when Srila Prabhupada was here in Sri Vrindavan Dham, he received a very, very long letter from one of his sannyasi disciples, who was also a GBC member at that time. And Srila Prabhupada indirectly, from different other leaders, heard that this particular sannyasi disciple was having some spiritual difficulties. But then Srila Prabhupada received this letter as the first direct news that since the sannyasi disciple's resignation as a GBC member about a month before, and he declared in that letter his express intention that he wants to temporarily withdraw from ISKCON's mainstream activities. That means following the regulated principles and chanting minimum 16 rounds. This is our mainstream activity. And he also mentioned to Srila Prabhupada that he's in a very, very miserable situation. And that miserable situation was like a kind of confusion that he was caught in, that he has attachment and faith in Srila Prabhupada, but at the same time he doesn't have the ability or inability to follow the process of Krishna consciousness. So Srila Prabhupada was most sympathetic, and he appreciated that the disciples' respect and esteem for Srila Prabhupada, and he also appreciated that he wants to be in Krishna consciousness despite not following nicely. So it's an apparent contradiction. It's an apparent contradiction. Yeah. So Srila Prabhupada was quite moved by his letter. At the same time, it was like another blow to Srila Prabhupada's establishment of ISKCON worldwide, where one of his principal leaders was becoming spiritually weak. Yeah. So despite Srila Prabhupada's disappointment and his apparent sannyas disciples' inability to stick with the process of Krishna consciousness and maintain his vows, Srila Prabhupada wrote back a very, very encouraging letter to him. And somehow, for the last time, that sannyas disciple, when he signed his letter, he still wrote the word Swami, but he kind of put it in inverted commas, you know. And then immediately Srila Prabhupada got straight to the point in his reply. And these are Srila Prabhupada's exact words. I know that you are intelligent and can act very nicely to spread Krishna consciousness. If you feel Maya attracting, then live an honest life as a householder and contribute to our movement. And then Srila Prabhupada ended that letter, if you think that you should be married, then do that and assist by giving service. My request is that don't become an ordinary foolish man. Keep Krishna consciousness in any condition of life. That is success. And he sent the letter off. Now, here in this particular verse, Prahlad Maharaj is saying that everyone is influenced by the modes of material nature. And Prahlad Maharaj is even saying Lord Brahma is the head of our disciplic succession. Brahma Madhava Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. Yeah. So another time Srila Prabhupada said that a spiritual organization in the material world, very, very, very difficult proposition. Yeah. It's a fact. So therefore Srila Prabhupada used to quote Srila Rupa Goswami, Anashaktasya Vishayan Yata Atam Upayunjataha Nibbandha Krishna Sambandhe Yukta Vairagyam Uchyate. So in this particular translation of this verse from Srila Rupa Goswami, Srila Prabhupada in various other purports, he brings out 3 words. Normally, we say that when you're attached, you should become detached. See? But Srila Prabhupada also in purports in the Bhagavad-Gita also, he uses the word unattached. On one hand, you attached, on the other hand is detached, but these are 2 extremes. So what's the balance? It's called unattached, while maintaining one's attachments. And that's the perfect balance of the process of Krishna consciousness. See? Not in a sense, extreme sense gratification attached, and artificial renunciation detached, but unattached. The perfect balance of Krishna consciousness. So this particular verse of Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Prabhupada translates in a very practical way that when one is not attached to anything, but at the same time accepts everything in relation to Krishna, one is rightly situated above feelings of possessiveness. Like that. So Srila Prabhupada says in his own words that Srila Rupa Goswami have us understand that as long as we are in the material world, this is from Srila Rupa Goswami, so long as we are in the material world, we have to act. You cannot be detached. We cannot cease acting. Therefore, if actions in Krishna consciousness or Krishna-related activities is performed, and the result of those actions are offered to Guru and Gauranga, then that is called Yukta Vairagya. That is the perfect balance in Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada used to quote Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and who pointed out, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur pointed out that, monkeys, they make an external show of renunciation by not wearing any clothes and living naked in the forest. At the same time, the monkeys, if you actually can speak monkey language to monkeys, they will tell you that they are completely renounced. Like that. But actually they are busy enjoying sense gratification. They have a girlfriend on each branch in each tree. Like that. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada tells us, this is called Markata Vairagya. This is quite well known. The renunciation of a monkey. So then Srila Prabhupada says that how to become properly renounced. One can only become really renounced, although within the modes of material nature, when one becomes disgusted with material activity. There must be a sense of disgust for it, not a sense of looking forward to material activity. And not only that, Srila Prabhupada says that the realization should be is that although I'm disgusted with material activity, still this disgust is still making me be attracted to material activity. Then the next realization one should get, Srila Prabhupada says, this is in my way to Krishna. It's a stumbling block. So there are two features of such a realization. One is actual disgust while living within the material world, and at the same time, if I engage in this disgusting activity, it's an obstacle, it's a stumbling block towards pleasing Krishna. Yeah. So therefore Srila Prabhupada said that renunciation should not be falgu, temporary, but it should exist as swarasiki, continuous swarasiki. So this temporary renunciation of falgu vairagya, a type of monkey renunciation, Srila Prabhupada gives another example. He says it's like when one goes to a cremation ground, or when one goes to a funeral and like you see a body is taken to the Yamuna for cremation and so forth. And when one sees that, this man has taken a dead body, now he has left this body, and he feels, oh, this is the end of this body. So why am I working so hard, Srila Prabhupada says, day and night, for this disgusting nature of activities of the material body? He gets a realization when he sees a dead body being cremated, like that. So then such sentiments will naturally arise in the mind and in the consciousness of any man who goes to the cremation ground. But then he returns from the cremation ground and he engages in material activity for sense enjoyment. So this is called, Prabhupada says, smasana vairagya. It's another type of markata vairagya or falgu vairagya. That temporarily you feel renounced, but then you come back and you engage in the same activity. So what's the solution? The solution basically means that we cannot give up one thing for another thing, because that means detachment from something that you are attached to. See? But Krishna consciousness means that you become attached to something or somebody that will not exploit you and abuse you on the bodily conception of life. Because there's mutual exploitation in the bodily conception of life for sense gratification. So if you stop exploiting, which one cannot do, then one should become attached to somebody who will not exploit you on the bodily conception of life. Whether it's mental exploitation or philosophical exploitation or intellectual exploitation or sensual exploitation, it doesn't matter. These are all mutual exploitation and abuse. So then Srila Prabhupada himself answered the question that prasangam ajavam pasam atmana kavayo vidu sa eva sa dusho kritu moksha dvarvam apavritam. Moksha dvarvam. That anyone who knows, anyone who understands, or anyone who's learned, and naturally, if you're in Krishna consciousness, we become practicing devotees by reading and understanding Srila Prabhupada's books. So that means you have become learned. Otherwise, how would we be here? And how would we attend Srimad Bhagavatam class every morning? Yeah. So every learned man, Srila Prabhupada says, knows very, very well, irrespective of the limitations of one's realization, irrespective of that, knows very well that attachment for the material is the greatest entanglement of the spirit soul. See? But if one dovetails that same intensity of attachment for the material, when it's applied to self-realized devotees, then immediately, moksha dharam, the doors of liberation are open. One becomes free from the entanglement of being influenced by the modes of material nature. So it's very interesting that the attachment for one thing, which is the cause of bondage in conditioned life, the same intensity of attachment, when applied to something else, realized devotees, opens the door to liberation. So therefore Srila Prabhupada says attachment cannot be killed. So that's called unattached. There's no question of attached and detached. It's two extremes. That's not bhakti-yoga. That is for the jnanis and vairagis and tapasvis and karma-yogis. This is not for devotees. So therefore, this attachment simply of his intensity has to be transferred. The attachment for material things is called material consciousness, and attachment for Krishna, who is devotee, is called Krishna consciousness. Now, it is quite clear, irrespective what our situation is, or what our ashram is, it does not matter. All of us are attached to Srila Prabhupada. Yes or no? Yes. Yes. Whether we follow nicely or don't follow nicely, or we are struggling to follow, but all of us have a sense of attachment to Srila Prabhupada. And that's going to save us. One devotee was giving a very wonderful talk in Juhu, in Mumbai temple, a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. So, I'll keep his name confidential due to the nature of what he shared. So he was giving Srimad Bhagavatam class and I was hearing. It's about 2 years ago. And after the class, I spoke to him a little bit more. But in the class, he was mentioning that at one time, son, it's okay. That at one time during Srila Prabhupada's time, many devotees were being initiated, but they were being affected by the modes of material nature despite being initiated. So, as Srila Prabhupada was initiating newer and newer candidates, some of the other devotees who were already initiated were leaving. Like that. So the leaders at that time, they were very concerned. And then Srila Prabhupada's health was not good because of initiating and then some devotees leaving and some getting initiated like that. So they pleaded to Srila Prabhupada, please, can you stop initiating so that we can help our initiated devotees to become more fixed in their vows and so forth. Then Srila Prabhupada asked why. Then some of the leaders said, Srila Prabhupada, you initiated all of these devotees, but they are leaving and we see them doing other activities, out there and so forth. And we are feeling a little, nervous and to approach you to say that we have seen these devotees, that they are not following the principles and so forth, but they are leaving and at the same time you are initiating, like that. Then Srila Prabhupada never heard from anyone that the devotees were leaving. He never heard. Because Srila Prabhupada is Trikalagya. Trikalagya means he can see in 10 directions. And nobody can imitate that. It's really, nobody is, Nobody can replace Srila Prabhupada, nobody can take his place, and he is second to none. Srila Prabhupada is Trikalagya. Srila Prabhupada can see in 10 directions. He can see up, he can see down, that's 2. He can see east, west, north, south, that's 6. And he can see northeast, northwest, that's another 4. So that's 10 directions. You can see below and you can see above. So Srila Prabhupada responded, in this consciousness of Trikalagya, completely conscious of past, present and future and even what's to come. Srila Prabhupada told his leaders, at least I know that those who have left, they are not eating meat. They have improved. Immediately the leaders decided, no, we cannot say anything to Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada continued to initiate. So this particular disciple of Srila Prabhupada, he was one of them who had left. And when one of the devotees went on book distribution, they saw him. They said, Srila Prabhupada, he said like this about you. He said, Srila Prabhupada said, he knows that you may be breaking the other principles, but at least he knows that you're following one principle. You're not eating meat. And that disciple, really? Srila Prabhupada still keeps us connected to him? Yes. And a month later, he was back again in the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada, following all 4 principles, and since then, he's been following up to today. So therefore, this saeva sadhushu krito moksha dwaram apavritam. Just by this one act, irrespective of our situation, just become attached to Srila Prabhupada and just become attached to Srila Prabhupada's followers who are following Srila Prabhupada. Just become attached. Even to one, just become attached. Just become attached. So moksha dwaram apavritam. Although you will not be transcendental to the modes of material nature, but being connected to somebody who is transcendental, you are transcendental. So this type of founder acharya is nowhere. Only in the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Do you have any comments or questions you'd like to ask or share? Let's ask His Holiness Smita Krishna Swami to share something with us first. Maharaj, nice to see you again. Auspicious to see devotees. You don't have to ask a question, you can share something with us. You can switch that microphone on for Maharaj. Where's the sound man? Okay. All right.
Thank you for the close.
You're welcome.
Simply one sentence, very deep.
I'm not sure.
Detached and attached and detached, then the synthesis of unattached.
Uh-huh.
So I will remember that.
No, but I wanted you to share some wisdom with us. Please don't be a kripana. Don't be miserly. Come on, Maharaj. See, one sannyasi can speak to another sannyasi. I'm just taking advantage of this ashram.
Yes, Bhagavad-Gita, Krishna says that holy senses, but unless there's a higher taste,
Ah,
we will not stay fixed.
yes.
So that is what I say, that you must get a higher taste, or some taste somewhere to lift us over
Yes.
the difficulties.
So can you bless me with a little higher taste, please? Oh, he's blessing. Thank you very much. Yes.
May we be blessed, all of us here in Lord, Krishna Balaram, here and Krishna Balaram.
Yes.
Radha Shamsundara, you will be blessed with a higher taste.
So by your pleading to them, we'll be blessed. Thank you. So we'll ask His Grace Shudi Prabhu. He's put his hand up. You're going to give us a comment, not a question, right? Shudi is also a very early disciple of Srila Prabhupada. You know, these disciples of Srila Prabhupada and also the grand disciples from the early days in the 80s, they gave the youth and young adulthood for the mission. Complete sacrifice. So we should know that. What we have is, we are just enjoying their Mahaprasad to us. They have worked hard to give us these facilities. Yes, Shudi Prabhu? You can please stand up so everyone can get your darshan. Please stand up. You can face everybody.
So I have many spiritual faults and many spiritual inadequacies, but I find when I read in Srila Prabhupada's books, I seem to find everything I need there just to get through the day. But I'm surprised when they do surveys and things how little people read of these books. And you find if you don't read them, you're not going to find out what's in them, which is fine.
Yes.
But I'm surprised that more people don't read them, because I know they weren't written just for me. I know the things I go through are probably the things other people go through. And you don't want to miss out on this. You can read them on the phone, you can read them in a Kindle, you can read them in books, and you don't want to miss out.
Hold the microphone a little
You
close.
don't want to miss out on this information because it'll help you get back to Krishna. It'll save you from a lot of spiritual inadequacies. It'll help you from a lot of attachments. It'll save you a lot of money because when you act on your attachments, you have to get a lot of money to try to fulfill those desires. But these things, the big things in material life don't come cheap. So I'm surprised that more people don't read them. That's what they were done for. Srila Prabhupada spent so much time. I would go to bed in Mumbai in 1971, and Prabhupada was translating the seventh canto. I'd wake up in the morning and he was translating it again. And there's so much in there. If someone like me can read them and get through them, imagine the great devotees like you, what you would do. But if you don't read them, you won't find out the gems that are in there.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Anyone else likes to share or maybe have a question?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, you were giving the example of this material world. Devotees, they know what is material world. But where outside, they don't understand what is material world. They are in material world, but they don't know we are in material world.
Mm-hmm.
They do not know the word of material.
Yes.
So how can we explain to them this one, the material things and the spiritual things? Right.
You do three things. You distribute prasad, you distribute the holy name, and you distribute transcendental knowledge in the form of books. That's how they'll come to know that they're in the material world. That's what happened to us, right? We were in the material world. Either we came through prasad, or we came through the holy name, or we came through transcendental knowledge, which is Srila Prabhupada's books. You do the same. Now, if you don't do it, of how you came to Krishna consciousness, then you'll actually struggle to even chant your rounds and follow the principles. In other words, every devotee. I think Janardhan Maharaj, Bhakti Anugraha, Janardhan Maharaj was reading one of the mornings from Srila Prabhupada that it's not sufficient to be Krishna conscious. You have to also give Krishna consciousness to others. But it's not that you should give Krishna consciousness to others and you yourself do not remain Krishna conscious. That's also not good. So both are interdependent. Yeah. Like Srila Prabhupada told Vishal, I saw him this morning somewhere, Vishal Prabhu, Prabhupada's disciple. Srila Prabhupada said that we should chant Hare Krishna and spread Hare Krishna. That's the sum and substance of anything. Whether you're in ISKCON or whether you're a devotee in ISKCON or whether the activities of a devotee. Chant Hare Krishna, spread Hare Krishna. So spread Hare Krishna means through prasadam distribution, book distribution and spreading the holy name. Is that all right?
Thank you very much.
Okay. Time. We'll just take, okay, he's desperate to ask questions.
In Bhagavad-Gita 5.8-9, first line Prabhupada talks about detachment, and I didn't understand the line when I didn't ask.
So when you read Prabhupada's books, you also have to read the purport. So you are talking about chapter 5.
Chapter 5, that's
Yes, but there's also chapter 18. So when you see Bhagavad-Gita, you have to see the entirety. You have to see the entirety. So who is Bhagavad-Gita being spoken to? Arjuna. Well, Arjuna was trying to become detached, right? Trying to go to forest. See? Because he thought he was attached. So Krishna says, neither. See? Don't give up and don't enjoy. Fight for me. That is called unattached. Nirbandha Krishna Sambade Yukta Vairya Mujate. So when you quote a particular verse, you must read the purport first. Yes, then you must read the whole chapter. And then you read the whole Bhagavad Gita, then it will make sense. Because Bhagavad Gita is progressively being spoken by Krishna to Arjuna. So you have to know what is the progression of the consciousness of Arjuna and what's the apex. Apex are 2 verses. Manmanavava madbhakto and sarvadhaman parichakya. So if you stick to one thing in the Bhagavad Gita and not seeing the entire situation, then we may have a tendency for Jnana Misra Bhakti. Okay? So I'll just end with one anecdote of Srila Prabhupada in relation to Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. So one big Mayavadi guru in South. He knew many languages including Sanskrit plus perfect English. He's a double PhD. So he got hold of Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita as it is. See? And he's reading. And then he came to one verse. Brahmano hi pratistaham. See? And he's saying, oh, this Bhaktivedanta Swami, he's translated this wrong. Brahmano hi pratistaham. Prabhupada translates that Krishna says, I am the source of Brahman. But he said his Bhaktivedanta Swami is wrong. Brahmano hi pratistaham. That Krishna is telling Arjuna, I come from Brahman. That's his translation. Okay. So somehow he kind of got in touch with one ISKCON devotee, like American bodied, Western bodied, was in South In those days, Madras, today Chennai, like that. So some of his followers saw this devotee and they brought him to him. Like this. And he was very happy. He's meeting a big guru. This devotee doesn't know what is Mayavad. He saw the sannyasi, ekadanda, bowed down, and so forth. He doesn't know what is Mayavad. Like that. So he said, is this your Swamiji? Oh yes. Oh, you have his Bhagavad-Gita as it is? And he was so happy that this Swamiji is reading Prabhupada's Bhagavad-Gita as it is. See? And then he started quoting some Sanskrit verses, this big Mayavadi guru. And the devotee said, I don't know any Sanskrit. But he's got Prabhupada's Bhagavad-Gita. And he's telling this devotee, what is wrong with your Guruji, Bhaktivedanta Swami? Every page I turn, Krishna, 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 Krishna. What is wrong with him? Even if there's no Krishna in the verse, he puts it in the word for word somehow, and he puts it in his commentary, his tika, purport. And he again quoted, Brahmano hi pratistaham. Because his goal is Brahman. Yeah. See? So then the devotee said, but I don't understand what you are saying. He's telling him, I only understand what you are saying. I only understand. Every time I see Bhagavad Gita, I also see Krishna, 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 Krishna. I also see like that. That is Bhaktivedanta Swami. He's telling us like this. See? Then he quoted some other verses. The devotee said, I don't know Sanskrit, but I know one thing. Krishna, 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 Krishna. So the devotee came to Mumbai, Bombay those days. Prabhupada was there. So Prabhupada says, how's the preaching in the south? Prabhupada, I met this big man, and he has your Bhagavad Gita as it is. Perfect English, double PhD. And he's this person, he's like got so many disciples. He was saffron, like that. Srila Prabhupada said, what did he say? Then she said, Srila Prabhupada, he was complaining like anything. He says that every page I turn in this Bhagavad Gita, you are saying Krishna, 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 Krishna. And then Srila Prabhupada, in his bolster pillows, it was in the tenement buildings on the top, the old place, in the phase 2 now they have. He went back and Srila Prabhupada started laughing and laughing and laughing and laughing. Srila Prabhupada then, within his laugh, he said, what did he say? He said, no, Prabhupada, every time he turns your Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, 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 Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada laughing, laughing, laughing. What did he say? No, Krishna, 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 Krishna. And Prabhupada laughing. And Prabhupada asked him, how many times he said that? Then he's thinking, Srila Prabhupada, when he first told me he saw Krishna, 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 then I also told him, I also see Krishna, 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 Krishna. And then he said he also still sees Krishna, Krishna. So maybe it's 3 times he said that, Prabhupada, Krishna, 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 Krishna. And Prabhupada said, after his laughing, it's like some hasya ras, And the devotee was bewildered. Prabhupada laughing, I'm telling him my report. Then Srila Prabhupada said, yes, he has understood my message. And then Srila Prabhupada asked the disciple, who is the author and speaker of Bhagavad Gita? Then the disciple said, Krishna. Then Srila Prabhupada said, you should have told him that's the author and speaker of Bhagavad Gita. So in every line, in every word, in every letter is the consciousness of Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Because he's the author. He's the speaker. So therefore Krishna, 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 Krishna. If that Mayavadi, hopefully if he left his body already in this lifetime, he'll become a devotee next lifetime. Because Krishna, 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 nothing else. Krishna, 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 Krishna. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki. Tathai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari.